was watching Steve from Seaside Allotment just a few days ago, and he did a really good video on sowing spinach. Now you may recall I sowed my spinach a couple of days ago in a square pot, but I wanted to start cleaning out the Vegepod now and getting that prepared for my all you can eat in 9 square feet. And one of the things I'm going to be putting is in spinach, and Steve actually sowed some spinach in little modules, and I thought it'd be ideal for what I want for the Vegepod. I could space them exactly as I want and maximise the space. This is a little modular tray I've chopped up. It's 18 cells, and I've just put some Bathgate Champions blend in. Make a few depressions, and I'll sow the seeds into each one of those. Like most of my videos, I like to moisten the compost before the seed makes contact with it. With the spinach, the seed is big enough to easily get one seed into each module. I've sown more than I need, but if you have a few failures, it doesn't really matter. All that's left now is to give it a little topping up. Pop these in the propagator. Oh, must remember to put a label on as well. Hello folks, and welcome back. We're back on this celery trial here. Almost a day has passed. On the instructions it had got 18 hours. This has been in the fridge for about 20, and I'll just give you a little show what's happened to the seed. Quite a lot of the seed has sunken to the bottom. There's still a bit floating around the top, but I'm sure that'll do. The water is icy cold. The next part of the instruction says prepare a seed tray with damp compost, so let's get that done. This is the trusty bottle top water. Okay, let that sink in. I'm sure we can class that as damp compost. Now the next instruction says pour water and seed onto compost, spread as evenly as possible. Well, I think that might be a bit easier said than done, but we'll try our best. So I can see some of the seed popping out. Still quite a lot on the bottom though, there is. That's dunked it in. And the last instruction says lightly dust the top with perlite. I haven't got no perlite, so I'm going to have to use vermiculite, but I'm sure that's just as good. I think that's classed as lightly dusted. Now what we need to do is place in the propagator at 18 degrees centigrade, and it says the celery should appear up in leaf around 1 week. Well, we'll put that to the trial. I'll just set the Vitopod to 18 and we'll put it in there, see how it goes. And just join me inside the Vitopod. This is set at 18 degrees now. This bag down here is the original sowing of the celery in the 3-inch pot. So it'll be interesting to see how the germination compares between the two. The spring onion that I sowed a few days ago, weeks ago, I don't know. I just had a look in the propagator and I'm just popping the heads up now. That's the Ishikura, the Japanese bunching onion. But now I'm going to be sowing my favourite one of all. And these ones are called Ramrod. If you've never ever tried these, I usually grow White Lisbon and the Ishikura. But if you give these a go, Ramrod, they're absolutely fantastic. They grow quite thicker than the other varieties if you leave them, but you can obviously take them small. But the thing I like about them, they transplant as well. So if you've got a bunch that's in the wrong place, pick them up, pop them in the ground, and they'll happily plod along again. The seed for the spring onion are just like normal onion, black circular things. So what I'm just doing now, I'm just going to do a little pinch into each hole. This is just multi-purpose compost I'm using. I'm just going to give each of the holes a drop of water so that I know that the seed's made contact. with the damp compost, and then we can top it up. I've got some seedlings now ready for pricking out. On the left there is the Zinnia Sprite mix. In the middle there's African Marigold Crackerjack, and on the far side Double Click Cosmos. There's only sown a few in each packet because I'm going to be overrun with flowers, so I've still got quite a few others to come up in the propagator at the moment. I'm going to be pricking them out into these 12 cell half trays. The compost I'm using is Umax. This is the first time of me growing these African marigolds, crackerjack. Usually I grow the French ones, which are quite a bit smaller, but I thought I'd grow these to give a bit of extra height. I'm just pricking out these zinnias now. A few people in past videos have actually mentioned that they didn't think zinnias potted on too well. Well, I've always grown them this way, in little pots, and prick them out later on. I've never had any issues. So these are the Zinnia, Marigold and Cosmos potted on. I'm just having a drink from below now. I put these into the Vitopod propagator around about 18, give them a week or so in there to get their roots growing again, and then I'll bring them out into the greenhouse. This is in the second Vitopod, and you can see the tomatoes are coming on nicely now, and so are the chilies. But it's the soil I want to show in the chilies, the compost. I'll just bring it down to here. I'm not sure if you can see there, but a couple of these are in need of watering now. The soil has gone like a very light brown colour, and that's the way I like to keep the compost there. I don't water them regularly, I just keep my eye on the compost, and when it changes colour then I give them some water, and I think they prefer it that way. I'm about to empty another bucket of Sarpo Mira. Still got 7 left, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 left after this. So I'm actually starting, some of these are starting to sprout again. Some nice roasting potatoes and jackets there. I'll give them a wash. Not bad again. Just give a quick little update. I'm in the greenhouse in the garden now. This is the spring onion, the Ishikura. Got, say, fairly good germination on them. So these are going to go into the allotment greenhouse now, and let them fend for themselves on the shelf. And the same also for these. These are the Celery, the Asterix. These are pricked out, these probably about a week or so ago, and they've obviously perked up a bit. So both these going into the greenhouse unheated on the allotment. Although I've still got quite a few onions in the greenhouse that I've grown from seed. These are some onion sets that I'm going to be using as well. Heat treated variety, so hopefully they won't bolt and get a seed on me. The red ones are the popular ones called Red Baron, and these ones here are called Cupido. They're from DT Brown, and there's a link underneath the code. I think that's still valid that they give me, and I think it's valid till the end of April if you want some orders or anything. The reason I'm growing these, I was watching Steve from Seaside Allotment and Gardening, and he does a lot of interplanting different things with other things, and he really makes use of the space. So I thought I'm going to try this out on the beds. So these won't be in a specific onion bed as is, they'll be dotted around in between plants, and hopefully we'll get a crop out. Also planning all to do a few of these inside the Vegepod once I'll clear that out, ready starting the growing project for that for the year. Well folks, you join me on the plot on this quite cold morning actually. I've just started tidying up the Vegepod now, giving it a clean out. I've just popped some fish blood and bone in the top to refresh the soil. So I'm going to be starting planting this up now, from now for this year, and hopefully over the winter months as well. And we'll see how much we can actually grow in a 12-month period. So I've put some blood fish and bone in, and also a bit of grow more, some long-lasting fertiliser. First thing I'm going to be putting in is these onion sets. You probably saw me a few clips ago putting them into some cell trays, and these are going to be in here for a good few months. So I think what I'm going to do is plant them along the back, knowing that they'll grow quite tall, because I don't want them overshadowing the other crops that's in there, because that there is south facing, so we're going to have predominantly the sun coming this way. So I'll just tidy this up, and I'll start planting some bulbs, and I'll bring you back in a minute. There we go, folks. There's managed to get 7 of each type in there. So these are heat treated sets, so hopefully the one plants during the summer. The red ones are a variety called Red Ray, and the other ones are called High Sky. Never grown those before. I've left enough gap in the middle hopefully so I can get some interplanting in there, probably some row of radish or maybe spring onions, a bit of lettuce. We'll see what's going to happen. We're still getting a few cold nights at the moment, so for these Vegepods you can actually get a plastic sheet cover what fits over here. You can fit it over the top of the net, and I'm going to put that on because then it'll act like a mini cloche. Leave that on for a few weeks just to warm the soil up a bit and hopefully get the roots started on the onions. So that's the cover fitted. I must say I'm quite impressed with that. That'll add some nice protection to the plants over the next few weeks while it's still a bit cool. And it's tied on with the 4 ribbons in the corner, but I've added a couple of cable ties just in case we get any strong winds. Well, all good things come to an end, and after well over 25 years we've decided to say farewell to the garden pond, and we're having a little redesign. The quickest way to empty it, I've punctured the butyl liner, and that'll just drain gently into the soil below. You can see there some of them irises are quite a few years old. I must say I'm very pleased with this. I'll be sowing some radish and spring onion probably in the next day or 2. That's about it. So many thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye for now.